Chapter 6. The Cost of Fish.
They are still programmed to die in their dream. After that, they enter a dreamless sleep. If we can't figure out how to wake them from that, they might as well be actually dead. Now I know why the project was called Poison Apple.
Dr. Isabel, Alexis, and Harryar.
Lev awoke unsure how much of himself was still alive. Something felt wrong about that. Like he was supposed to die today. A human body wouldn't have survived being broken, drowned, frozen and lightly cooked all at the same time. The elf rolled his frost-covered back toward the fire and inspected his seared left arm. Then the broken and frozen fingers of his right hand. Frostbite, infection and necrosis spotted his body. Likely he had similar problems on his feet, but didn't dare take off his shoes. He had to do it now while his knife was still clean. Removed his right glove and flexed his hands to see where the broken parts were. Then cut the middle of his ring finger all the way through, and squeezed the wound shut. Cactus meat-like muscles gave way to the pressure. Sticky pink opioid blood sealed the wound and pain faded from the loss. Lev repeated the process on his entire pinky finger. Assuming he couldn't get them reattached, it would take a month, but they would regrow. He pocketed the fingers for later. Lev checked the sun. An hour lost to the near embrace of death. He tried to stand. 3 minutes later he succeeded in the task. He eyed the hearth-like fire's embers starting to give way to the cold. Then eyed what was almost his killer and walked to the water that had almost entombed him. A big stupid valuable fish lay beside it. Now to dirty the knife. He turned to the fish. An axe or hatchet would have been preferable, but this was an art project so a delicate touch should be used. I'll spare you the details of Lev removing the head from the rest of the fish, dragging the body with the rope by the tail to cover it in snow and putting out the fire. Then removing the trident from the gills only to stab the head again in the throat. Lev lifted the staff. With the head he gauged it at about 35 to 40 pounds. His right toes and ankle hurt, but the pain was manageable. Mission first. Pack secured. He dragged the head to the edge of the falls. The trick would be to get the skull to land in the river below on the base of the spine. Throwing it with the trident and rope acting as an arrow's fletching might work. With the falls being just over 50 feet longer than Lev's 100-foot thin corded cable-like rope, he would need to act relatively fast to avoid losing anything. Like a leap of faith he threw the skull-skewered trident. Then Lev noted something. Where was his raft? He looked around and the worst-case scenario became evident to him. His mind denies his convex eye's sight. That was no cloud, it was smoke. The world tree he called home was on fire. Small fires, but enough to endanger the entire world tree and highwood forest. With haste he began climbing down a secure-the-rope ladder not far away. Upon landing at ground level he followed a dried waterway made by rainstorms to the river. Lev dropped his pack and once again entered the waters of Sky Mirror. Only this time perhaps falls, or river, would be more appropriate. He pulled himself and the rope out of the water, then the oversized minnow cranium. Lev didn't note any significant damage. That is to say any that would affect his work or profit line. The wind roared and the sea of trees sounded like the ocean and smelled like smoke. He was 7 hours away from the world tree of Highwood if he took a raft he didn't have. Not to mention getting up to Cloudwood if he hasn't kept her end of the deal. Lev took a breath and asked the most powerful question. Why? She knew how to pilot the raft. She knew the sail system for it as well. The roar of the falls answered the question. She didn't know how to sail against the powerful flow of the water the falls generated in this branch of the river. If Lev was right, she should have anchored the raft where the waters of Sky Mirror joined Longwater River. He untied the rope and packed it, then set off for the almost 3 miles that would take him 45 minutes to walk with his trophy to the raft.